Hi everyone, it's Ketchy, aka OBiGem. Welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, please do not forget to hit the subscribe button. And if you like what you see, please do hit the like button so I know to keep making content like this. This go around, I am just coming in to give you guys a little bit of update as far as Sims news. So today, if you have gone into your game, you might notice on the intro screen before you jump into one of your saves, there is a little notification. So long as you have your online settings turned on, you'll see that there's a little screen cap right there that says Snowy Escape survey. Every so often we'll be asking for your latest feedback on our packs. We'd love to hear from you in this short survey. So it's pretty much a buyer's survey for anybody who has purchased Snowy Escape. EA is apparently asking for our feedback just to get some idea of the reception of the pack, what we liked, what we didn't like. And if you click into that survey, you'll see the specific questions they ask about what it is that you liked about the game, what certain things you were a bit dissatisfied about. And there actually is little boxes. It's a 3-page survey. So at the end of every page, there's a little box where you can elaborate on your answers as far as whether you were satisfied or dissatisfied. The EA is giving you a chance to say in detail what you are satisfied about and what you are dissatisfied about. So one thing that's kind of interesting about the survey is typically when they send out the surveys, it's normally kind of just a check the boxes type survey. In the past, where they asked for feedback about what kind of packs we are looking for, even when they did that player curated pack when we got Nifty Knitting, is really just choices that you're picking from on the survey box. But this one's interesting because you do have the chance to actually provide some explanation for your answers in these text boxes. So I find that very interesting and, cautiously encouraging, because one of the things, especially after the blowback from Journey to Batu, it seems like the Sims team is actually being serious about wanting to listen to our feedback to try to make the game better. Whether or not that's actually going to translate into the game becoming better has yet to be seen. Who knows? But it would be a good thing and a sign of them being on the right track if this did lead to more of them really wanting to know what we have to say to implement into the game to make it a better experience. So some highlights from that survey. Obviously I can't show you the screen grabs from the survey because I already filled it out and you can't go back into the survey to see what the questions are. They probably did that on purpose just so no one's spamming the survey over and over again with any type of complaints. I get it. But so a lot of the questions really had to do with elements from the pack that you either liked and enjoyed or things that you were dissatisfied about. They asked questions about your thoughts on the theme, your thoughts on the sports activities, your thoughts on the mountain world is a question that came up more than once. And then there were questions about how you felt about the lifestyles. Since the sentiments is something they implemented into base game, they didn't ask specifically about that. So it was really just the lifestyles, the winter sports, the Japanese inspired setting, and the mountain setting that they were trying to get some feedback on what you liked. And then of course there were typical questions about whether you were satisfied or dissatisfied by Kaz and build by. But for me personally, filling out the survey, I did want to get across in my 200 words on each page, which collectively is math, which is collectively 600 words. In total, you had to really get your point across of what it is you were looking for in the pack. I made sure to state my opinion in each 200 word text box that one of my big disappointments for Snowy Escape was the lack of gameplay, and it just felt like there was very little attention put into whether this pack was going to be expansion worthy and how it's adding to the game. And by adding, I mean substance and depth and not just more stuff. We totally got more stuff with this pack. We got some really nice cast We got some really nice CAS assets. We got some great build by assets. The world is gorgeous to look at. And your Sims have a few more things to do in skiing, snowboarding, hiking, and the like. But none of that stuff really adds to the gameplay. And it's very shallow. In my responses, I mentioned how going to the onsen's not really an experience. If you don't have Snowy Escape, you can more or less get the same experience from the onsen if you just use the platforms we have access to now and just sink a hot tub down lower into the ground and then just like build something that looks like an onsen bathhouse and on your property or a public lot wherever, and you pretty much have the same experience. About the only thing you wouldn't get from making your faux onsen if you don't have this pack is you wouldn't really have the whole idea that Sims may shower before they get into it or not. But that's not even like a big gameplay element anyway, considering a lot of Sims will not do that anyway, and like the only buff they get for not doing it is embarrassed if they're proper, or infuriated if they're proper and they see somebody not do it who's not following the rules. None of that stuff is really anything that substantially is impacting the gameplay. Similarly, hiking and mountain climbing and even skiing and snowboarding are things that are very shallow. You do snowboarding and skiing a couple times and you really got all of what you can get out of the experience. I personally didn't enjoy the hiking interaction as much as I thought I would. After the first time, it became very clear how very uninteresting hiking is. Your Sim's not really able to interact with much in their environment when they're hiking, which is a shame. Really, all they can do is take pictures of things, which is, a thing, but it's not really all that game-changing or interesting as far as playing the game or even building storylines around your Sims doing that. But that's what we got with it. Another thing I wanted to stress in my 600 words was the missed opportunities of this pack. So if you guys will remember from the many videos I put out from before we got the pack on things that I wanted to see in the game, such as, my make or breaks and the must-haves for this pack. And if you haven't seen those videos, do go back and take a look at them. They kind of put a lot of things in perspective now that the pack's been out for a bit, as far as how EA has really met the expectation to make this expansion pack expansion worthy and how they've fallen short. And one of the major things I brought up in that video was how important it was to implement something that had crossover appeal to expand on how you play the other packs you already have. And two of the major things that I thought could really do that was implementing something such as like the resort system, which is something we could definitely use in other worlds such as Sulani, or even like in any of the other worlds as far as building resorts or even like bed and breakfast style type of outlets, which will give not only your Sims more places to go, but more things to do as far as gameplay, as far as running a business. And that's the type of deep gameplay I feel like a lot of us are looking for as far as adding to the game. To that end, the other thing I was looking for was more careers. I thought for sure we would get more than just one career. There were so many outlets from which they could build new careers just off of what was being brought to the table with this pack. We have winter sports in skiing and snowboarding. Why is being a ski or a snowboard instructor not a career? Why is the town mascot just a town mascot? Why is that not a career? And so from that perspective, I just felt like they dropped the ball as far as how they could expand on this pack to give us more things to do that would last more than 2 seconds. Skiing and snowboarding is something to do, sure, but running your own resort is something to do that would last you days and hours and weeks upon weeks as far as building out a storyline and playing it out to the end. This is something that if it was in the game and you were able to implement it in your gameplay, it could last for generations. So that, I feel like, is the disconnect between the Sims team's understanding of what we mean when we want more gameplay and things to do. What we're really asking for is gameplay that will last us more than a single day of playing. And in many cases, a lot of the stuff they add to the game is not even gameplay options that will last a day. Most of them will last an hour, maybe an hour. Probably less than that. Like, if you really wanted to get everything out of what you wanted to do with snowboarding, you could enjoy it for like a couple of minutes, sure. If you wanted to max out the skill, maybe an hour or two. But it's not something that's going to prompt you to want to go into the game day after day, week after week, month after month, and really explore this thing, because it's not something that offers that type of longevity, which I think is really unfortunate. Hi everyone, interrupting your regularly scheduled content so that I can pop in here and do my first shower of love for Subcember to Simi Schmidt. So she is a simmer that is actually following me on Twitter. At Simi Schmidt is her handle, but she actually recently started a Sims YouTube channel. So as you can see, she's brand new. She only has 4 videos, but the video of hers that caught my eye was the Kaz collab she is participating in, making a sim that is a embodiment of one of the worlds. The one that she chose was Windenburg. This is a collab that Plumby put together. So shout outs to Plumby. I've mentioned her on my channel before, but today we are showering love on Simi Schmidt. So Simi Schmidt put out this collab. I watched her video. The sim she made was super cute. So if you guys are not following Simi Schmidt, head on over to Twitter, follow Simi Schmidt, head on over to her YouTube channel, subscribe to her channel. She has done quite a few different Kaz from what I can see of her 4 videos. I believe all of them are Kaz videos, but she is sitting at 12 subscribers now. I subscribed to her channel right before making this video. I encourage all of you to head over there, watch her videos, and subscribe to her channel as well. Let's try and get her to 50 subscribers before the end of the year. That'd be very special. And again, her channel, Simi Schmidt, her Twitter handle at Simi Schmidt. Please head on over, you guys, and support our fellow simmer, and let's increase her numbers for this month. Let's get her to her goals, whatever they might be. And while we're still here and showering love, I do want to go ahead and announce my winner for my first random stuff pack celebration. So the winner that I chose, I did use a Twitter app that allows you to just pick winners for different giveaways from your following, which is what this is all about. So I did that, and the first person that popped up was at HawsJunes, I believe is how you pronounce her name. I do apologize if that is not correct, but at HawsJunes, please do reach out to me and let me know what stuff pack you would like. I am looking forward to making your day. But back to our regularly scheduled content. Another thing I wanted to stress as far as missed opportunities in this pack was just really delving into the fact that this was a Japanese-inspired pack that was drawing from the Japanese culture and what that could bring to the table as far as how to play the game. There's so much aspects of Japan that would have been so exciting to play in this game that we just don't have access to. And it just became more obvious to me how much we don't have access to just staples of Japanese culture, because I'm doing a Let's Play where the family's supposed to be Japanese, but they can't do or have certain things that would make sense in their household if they were really in Japan. And I realize it's not really Japan, but it's very clear that Mount Komorebi was inspired from Japan. Like, there's no denying that. So it doesn't make sense to me that when they wake up in the morning, the only breakfast items they have access to make for their family are Western breakfast items. There's no Japanese inspired breakfast items you can make within your household. there is no options as far as if you go to the festivals of like outdoor stalls you can sit at and eat like you would at a festival in Japan. That just seems absurd to me that that's not there. And I get from some perspective they probably did that because they thought that including that would be stepping on the toes of Dine Out. But considering the fact that they haven't ever gone back to Dine Out to optimize that experience, like at this point, you're either going to include these things in newer packs or you are going to commit to updating the older packs to accommodate the new things that we get to experience in the newer packs. But to just leave it out is it just seems very criminal to me. But, them not going back to update older packs is a whole other conversation. Now, with that in mind, guys, let me know what you thought about the survey if you've gotten a chance to fill it out. Let me know what are some of the complaints that you had about the pack that you included in your survey. Or even if you enjoy the pack and you wanted to stress to EA the elements that you liked that you hope they continue to implement in future packs, I would be interested in hearing about that too. But until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, and of course, stay dazzled. I will see you in the next one. Bye.
Space. Girl, you told me that's what you needed. Light to my face. Yeah, 'cause you were coward and that was easy.